Now it is that time.
Now it's that time?
Yep.
Well, son of a bitch. Just have to fucking roll with it.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Greene's alongside, as
We'll start
always.
calling him Hot Mike.
It is.
You know, when I ask, are the mics on? It's really not that hard. Jesus.
Sorry about that. It's are mics on? No, nope, they're not. They're not on. Not on at all.
It's not like he has to go outside to check. He has to
all I have to do is go.
crane your neck. Go at a full 90 and you can tell me. Nope, too much.
Anyway, welcome into the Sportsocracy. It is a Tuesday morning, and we are live in the Wicked Weed studio, as always. WickedWeedBrewing.com, drink different. And, NBA free agency is it's quite the frenzy.
Yeah, we got a lot of gross NBA talk. It's not going to be for an extended period of time, but I want to make a slew of jokes.
$1.5 billion was spent in the opening hours of free agency last night in the NBA. Everything opened up at 6 o'clock last night, and immediately the deals just started going down. So we've got the best deals, which there aren't very many of them.
That's a small list.
We've got the worst deals.
That's a bulkier list.
Markedly bigger. Of course, we have NFL talk as well with Carson Wentz going down. We haven't gotten the chance to talk about that on this program, or at least since we found out that he was going to be out, a window of anywhere from 1 to 7 months.
Yeah, and Patrick Holt said something in the comments. Patreon payment started this month. You are correct. And all of the people that are in that, so we have a chat that exists. That's not the official chat because some of the things that are said in there are not for mainstream consumption.
Off the record.
But there will be a chat, and I guess we should go ahead. We'll announce this twice in the same show. We're going to have some specialized content just for you guys. It will go into a special Facebook group that has been created forever that I just keep not having the time or the wherewithal to remember to invite you to. But the big announcement of today is Tank is he is otherwise committed on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. So with football season coming up, we were trying to figure out a way to do 7-day-a-week content without us pulling our hair out. So we have found a way. It will be me and Hot Wife Amy on Saturdays.
Nice.
We will be doing a fantasy football show called Happily Ever Drafted. I've been asked to do a show like this forever. And basically what it'll be is Amy will be explaining the basics of fantasy football from the newbie perspective, and I'll be giving a little more deep divey shit. Mm-hmm. And we'll make jokes and do fun shit, and she's far better looking than me, so it will be a much more consumable product than day 7 of Tank and I together.
Yes.
Because during football season, it would have been 7 days a week of us together, and we would probably have killed each other.
Yeah, and I can't do that. I got to spend some time with the family. We're going to have football every Saturday with the Asheville Extreme Youth Football Program. Going to be a lot of fun, and you're more than welcome to come out, and every time we have a home game, I'll let you know, and you can come on out, and I'll be doing the PA announcing, I think. I think I'm getting roped into that. I say roped into that. I'm happy to help out however I can. There are very limited things that I can do to help out with my talents, and I will do them as much as possible. So, anyway, look forward to the what were you calling it?
Oh, Happily Ever Drafted.
Happily Ever Drafted.
Yep.
That's fucking sweet.
Yeah, I came up with that. I'm pretty proud of that.
Armchair
Commentary said, might as well get your best asset on air. 100%. Another change that will be happening, and it's not something that we really want to do. It's something that we're going to have to do. And we'll kind of let you behind the curtain on why this is more and more as all of the things get settled. All of our shows in the morning will not be live starting next week. So they won't all be live. Some of them will be pre-recorded. There will be a power ranking show every week. That will be pre-recorded. It looks like the two that won't be will be on Wednesday and Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So those will be recorded. We will not be here. And that's just to keep us from being in this studio literally 90 hours a week. We will be doing full live Sunday shows. That is, again, happening. One of the things that the Patreon members get is that you have open door policy to be in here with us. We have a full lounge that will be put up in here with sweet reclining ass chairs, and you can watch all the things with us. And that is exclusive to Patreon members. Not because we don't want other people here, but that's just another. And this is not the biggest space you've ever seen.
It's got to be an exclusive club.
Yeah, it's not. This is not the biggest space you've ever seen, especially since the set takes up half of it. Mm-hmm. But we will be live for those. Amy will be in here with us for those as well, giving fantasy, DFS, all kinds of shit. Yep. And my betting picks are exclusive to Patreon as well. The only way you'll be able to get every week, every person on the Patreon will get my 30-man pool, because that's basically what I do, and that will be exclusive to Patreon as well. I've also got futures bets that will go out in a video exclusively to Patreon for college football. That will either be at the end of this week, beginning of the next. This is like the busiest time of year we have, because A lot of people just look at us and go, well, what does it cost to do September to the Super Bowl? Because that is your biggest time of year.
Yep.
The funny thing is that they miss the fact that our biggest time of year is actually the draft.
Right.
I've always found that to be really funny. Nobody watches more of our shit than at the draft. And yet, for some reason, everybody shows up in August like, bye, Brad Johnson.
Oh, God.
Like, hey, can we be involved now? All the way in.
Just doing all the things.
So we've got all of the things. Just so many things happening. Much appreciation to everybody being patient with us yesterday.
Indeed.
We have some things coming that we're not quite ready to announce yet. Hopefully we'll be able to do that by the end of the week.
That's right. And as we get all of the ducks in a row for the NFL season, I feel like we just have to start out the day today with the biggest news.
Hold on.
Of the day.
Armchair had a really good point.
Yeah.
Where do the new people find the Patreon? It's in the comments. You can find it in the description. It's patreon.com/the Sportsocracy, I believe. Mm-hmm. You can go to Patreon and just search the Sportsocracy, and you will find us that way. Adam Black said, so only Wednesday and Thursdays will be the live shows. No, it'll be the other way around. Wednesday and Thursday will be recorded. Mm-hmm. And that's just to keep us, I mean, we're literally going to be here all day on Sundays. We will still be live Monday, Tuesday, and Friday. And the ESPN show will be, we have like 2 Braves preempted days left. Oh, we don't have any?
No, we don't have any.
Oh, there's none left?
Unless there are some rescheduled doubleheaders that weren't on the original schedule.
So that's the way it looks now. We're not beholden to that. We're kind of looking for input. I mean, it's not ideal, but, working from 7 in the morning until 6 at night every day of the week would get
right.
That would get a little taxing.
Right. And also frees us up to be able to, have more freedom of movement. Things that, special events and things like that we need to be out and about in the public with. Anyhow, as I said, top story of the day. Happy birthday to Tom Brady.
Nope.
40. He's 44 years old today. And hats off to you, Cappy.
Story of the day, happy birthday, Zach Wilson. Our quarterbacks have the same birthday, and I don't know if that makes me really happy or really sad.
Why? Because my quarterback will always be twice your quarterback?
No, not factually accurate.
Zach Wilson just turned 22 today. Tom Brady turns 44. And he's been awarded the day off, apparently. So, What? He's dumbfounded.
Well, I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to say this all day. It can't be a negative that they have the same birthday. Mm-hmm. And if, 20 years from now we're saying, hey, isn't it weird that the 2 greatest quarterbacks in NFL history have the same birthday? That'd be cool.
That'd
be sweet.
He's going all in hard on that greatest quarterback of all time thing. Anyway, I don't know. If you believe Louis Riddick, apparently Justin Fields is the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah, he's wrong.
He's been hot and heavy on the Twitter machine this morning, saying, all you people who are doubting Justin Fields, you should just stop it right now, that he is that good. I hope for the Chicago Bears' sake, he actually is that good.
Kevin Vick said in the comments, just remember every birthday for Brady moves him one day closer to going away forever.
Very true. But not before he wins 3 more Super Bowls. Let's get into the NBA talk. As last night, free agency opened it up at 6 o'clock, and like we said, there was $1.5 billion spent by NBA teams yesterday on new contracts for their players. We had, all of the old guys, they got paid big. Chris Paul gets a 4-year, $120 million contract for the Phoenix Suns. The Suns made the right choice here. He is the guy that just led you to the NBA Finals, and if you're going to have a chance to get back there again, you're going to have him. And here's the thing. I guess I was more surprised that he waived his $44 million player option for this year and then signed for $30 a year.
It was to get the more money. He knew the precipitous decline could happen at any time. So he wanted the locked in until he's 40. That's what he got. And there's nothing wrong with that. I actually did not mind the Chris Paul deal. You didn't seem to love it.
Well, to me, it's just, I get it's Chris Paul, and he's one of the greatest point guards of all time. All of that, we like Chris Paul. However, I don't want to lock in a guy until he's 40 years old.
I'm fine
And
with
I don't want to be paying a 40-year-old $30 million.
I'm fine with it. You know why? Because you're the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
it's not like people are going to clamor to go to Phoenix.
No.
You're never going to be a free agent destination. So, I mean, I get it. And I look at the Suns and the things that they added, I'm actually okay with it. JaVale McGee is an impact big off the bench and the worst Olympian in the history of time. You got him for $5 million.
Oh.
He got half what Kelly Olynyk got.
He's worse than Christian Laettner.
Absolutely. Absolutely is worse than Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner was coming off one of the greatest runs as a college basketball player ever. JaVale McGee's claim to fame is that his mother was an Olympian and he was the star of Shacked and a Fool.
They also, the Phoenix Suns also re-signing Cameron Payne.
Which was an overpay, but whatever.
I mean, it's fine. I mean, he's a guy that stepped in when Chris Paul was out.
He didn't mean to.
And made you feel like that team did not miss a beat. So you're
Well, I mean, for like 2 games. And then he came in and was an absolute fucking defensive liability, as he has been pretty much his entire career.
Right.
I will never understand why NBA teams boo-boo kitty this every year. I mean, you go into free agency and you just know teams are going to screw this up every freaking year. 2016 was the worst year. If you were over 6'8" and could walk and jerk off at the same time, you made $60 million. And every one of those deals was a fucking travesty. All of them. There was not a good... Luol Deng was the best of them. That should tell you everything you need to know. And I'm going to be honest with you, this year is going to be exactly the same.
What did he get, $90 million?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
He's still getting paid, which is gross.
Kyle Lowry goes to the Miami Heat. And Jeremy got earlier this morning when some fake Twitter account put out that Kawhi Leonard was going to the Miami Heat as well.
Don't fake tweet things and tag people that are reputable. Damn it! If you're gonna tag Woj, let it be Woj. Don't fake tag him.
We've already seen the fake report as well that I saw earlier was Boston Celtics. We're going to get Kawhi Leonard.
That's not going to happen.
We all know that the Charlotte Hornets are keying in on Kawhi Leonard.
Also not going to happen. I mean, just looking at some of these deals, Dougie Buckets got 3 years, $42 million from the Spurs.
Yeah.
I would love to know what goes in. Like, at what point do you look at each other and go, hey, we have money. You know what we should spend it on? You know that guy that couldn't defend a desk chair, but he shoots threes a lot, and his dad's a college coach? Yeah, him. And that guy for Portland who's played 11 games in 2 years.
By the way, that's a drink. I didn't get to do that one on NBA draft night.
I did a lot of drinks on NBA draft night.
Not being able to defend office furniture was on the list, and I don't think you hit one all night long. So, drink now or forever hold your peace. My computer has just frozen. Thank you. Mike Conley re-signs with the Utah Jazz, 3 years, $74 million. That's another one I like Mike Conley a lot, but he's 33 years old, and do I want to keep paying a 36-year-old $24 million a year? The answer to that is no. The best deals I thought from free agency were all the young guys. I mean, as a franchise, that's where I want to pour my money into. I don't want to be giving extended big-ass deals to 35-plus-year-old players. I'm
okay with it. The old guys, it didn't bother me at all. Kyle Lowry, that's fine.
Right.
And you look at Kyle Lowry with Jimmy Butler and all the things that are going on. First of all, that team's going to play defense at a stupid level.
Yeah, because they also got P.J. Tucker.
Yeah.
So between P.J. Tucker, Bam Adebayo,
Jimmy Butler,
and Kyle Lowry, that's going to be a damn difficult team to beat.
Adam Black said in the comments, Markkanen would be a good pickup for Charlotte. I keep hearing that something's happening with him. I just don't know what it is.
Right.
I heard that it was going to be the Lonzo Ball deal, and Lonzo was going to go to Chicago. Devonte Graham was going to wind up in New Orleans, which both those things have already happened, and Markkanen was going to end up in Charlotte. That would make the most sense. And be really careful when you see, oh, this is what that trade looks like. Be wary of that. They got back a lottery protected one from New Orleans. Don't be shocked if Markkanen finds a way into that deal. Chicago does not want him back.
If you can find a way to get Markkanen and a one, I feel like you won.
You probably have to give
the
something else up, but I don't know what it would be.
Yeah.
So sign and trade deal, this is just par for the course. I actually love everything Charlotte's done. And we have to give them some love because we're in their market. But I look at Charlotte as you have done quite nicely in the offseason. And here's something I never thought I was going to say out loud.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks, it's going to work. It's going to work.
Is it?
It's going to work. You just look at how deep that team is with what they added in the draft. And I know a lot of people didn't love it, but they're all defensive assets. And that's what Thibodeau wants to do. I mean, this is a team that's going to be able to throw 10 or 11 guys at you if they so choose. Not what Thibodeau tends to do, but the Fournier deal, gross overpay. But at the end of the day, you have to add assets. The NBA is all about accumulation of assets. And eventually, those assets will turn into something.
Right. Let's go back down because Evan Fournier was on the worst deals list. So we've got Kelly Olynyk going to the Pistons, 3 years, $37 million.
I would love to hear the rationale of, hey, you remember last year when we took that big unathletic white guy and we gave him a deal? Well, we just got rid of him. We need one of those back. We got to have one of those. It's just a rule. We're Detroit. We have to have one of those. So $12 million to Kelly Olynyk.
Right.
Yeah.
Detroit thought, we just got Cade Cunningham in the draft. Number 1 overall pick, franchise changer. What possibly can we do to make a splash in free agency? And they decided, let's go get Kelly Olynyk and Trey Lyles and re-sign Corey Joseph. I feel like that's a bad start.
Yeah.
It's a bad start.
But then again, if you're the Detroit Pistons, it's kind of hard to get people to take your money.
Right. San Antonio Spurs wanted to add some shooting and nothing else, so they get Dougie Buckets. 3 years, 42.
I just thought of something with Detroit.
Yeah.
Detroit is the dethroned Nigerian prince of the NBA.
Okay.
All we need you to do is wire us $500 and we will send you $1 million back. Nope. Our assets have been detained, and if you fall for that, that's on you.
Anyhow, where were we?
Daniel Tice.
Daniel Tice.
We got 4 years, $36 million from the Rockets.
Woo! See, it's a lot of this that it's one of the things that I don't understand about the NBA. I mean, I get there's fewer guys to pay, and so you're going to have all these guys making, as much money as superstars make in the NFL. But I just look at some of these guys and go, they're just dudes.
Rashawn Holmes, 4 years, $55 million. And you know what comes with that deal? He's already in foul trouble. He starts every game with 2 fouls. That's one of the ones I just didn't understand at all. And the Mavericks. Reggie Bullock for $10 million a year.
Yeah.
I mean, you came into this offseason with visions of like Kyle Lowry and Kawhi Leonard. Do you still have a press conference? Do you still show up with Reggie Bullock and Tim Hardaway Jr. and go, because you shouldn't.
I don't think so. I mean, it's one of those things that just how can you get excited about that? I mean, we brought back Boban. We got Reggie Bullock and Sterling Brown. Woohoo! Nice.
I mean, but that's what the NBA is.
Remember that whole thing, Luka Doncic? We were talking about we need to build around Luka Doncic and give him the great start, and this is what you came up with?
Here's the thing. Nobody wants to play in Dallas. Don't ask me why. I have no idea. They treat their players better than any team in the NBA. It's not close. No state tax in Texas. I've never figured out why the Mavericks can't get guys in that building. But they can't. And now they've got the superstar that you should want to build around. It still can't get anybody.
Is it because the most famous person for your team is the owner? And everybody
There
goes, I
could
don't
be
want to play
some merit
second
to that.
fiddle to Mark Cuban.
There could be some merit to that, but I don't buy it. It doesn't make any sense to me. He's one of the best owners in sports, whether you like him or not. And politically, we disagree a lot.
4 years, $74 million for Tim Hardaway. Was that an overpay?
No, it's about what he's worth.
No.
He was very good last year. And, you know, in the NBA, when you have money, you have to use it because it will go away. And you look at a team like the Heat, who's in every freaking year on somebody. There's a reason for that. Because they wind up with, you know, a $90 million deal for Duncan Robinson. First of all, good for him. Biggest deal ever signed by an undrafted free agent. But once you sign that deal, that cap space is gone. But what you can do is make a sign and trade for Kyle Lowry, absorb that, and then sign Duncan Robinson. A lot of it's clerical shit, but when you have cap space, you have to use it.
Jared Allen, 5 years, $100 million.
I feel like they added there was an extra place after the comma. It should have been 5 years, $10 million. I would have been okay with that. Look, I said this on Twitter last night. I feel like NBA free agency is like when my wife shows up with a Macy's bag. I don't even have to see it and know I'm probably not going to like it. And if I find out how much it costs, I'm going to hate it. That's NBA free agency in a nutshell. Because I don't hate some of these players. I hate how much you're paying them. And notice who the teams are. The Spurs and the Pistons and the Pacers. It's all teams that you can't get anybody to sign with you.
Right.
The NBA has a massive problem of that big name talent is always going to end up in the same five places. Miami Heat, LA Lakers, LA Clippers. I would put the Knicks in that now because I still think they're going to do something. And the Nets. That's where you're at. The rest of the league is an also-ran when it comes to free agents. And the Heat can damn near get anybody they want. In spite of the fact that they're not, I mean, I don't look at them with Kyle Lowry and go, hey, you're the best team in the East now. You're fine. You're 3.
3 behind Milwaukee and Philadelphia?
Milwaukee and Brooklyn.
Milwaukee, Brooklyn.
I mean, that's where you are.
Yeah.
Woo, congratulations.
Yeah.
I did
Is this one
thoroughly
of those
enjoy
things
our employers' coverage of NBA free agency. They have these little things that shoot off steam like, woo, breaking news! Tim Hardaway signed for 4 years, $72 million. You're using breaking news wrong.
Well, see, you have to make the big show for everybody. You got to make everybody feel like they're wanted, they're needed.
Hey, they put Rachel Nichols on that. That should tell you everything that you need to know about how they felt about that. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not sure what to do with that.
Tell me I'm wrong. It was the first thing I thought of.
I don't like saying bad things about Rachel Nichols.
I love Rachel
I kind of
Nichols.
like Rachel Nichols, but you're
Not wrong.
Yeah, you're not
I know
wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Yeah, you're not wrong. What was I guess the biggest deal was the Lonzo Ball thing.
Which I don't get. I don't understand why people still think he's good.
He is good.
No, he's not.
Come on.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
He improved his shooting this year. There was
From
the one knock that they
god-awful
had.
to half-assed. He went from no-assed to half-assed.
There's still growth there.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, the kid averages 11 points a game. Mm-hmm. And you gave him $85 million. Really? I'll be honest with you. I think Kobe White's a better player than he is.
I'd agree with that. Apparently
And Kobe
Chicago
now
doesn't
just,
think so.
and I think they forgot they had him.
They always
yeah.
have. He's constantly been the guy coming off the bench for them.
And he's going to be again.
He hasn't been the starter, and now Lonzo Ball's there, and they just signed Alex Caruso as well. It's a very loaded backcourt that you got there.
The worst hairline in sports other than Tank Spencer's.
Ouch. I mean, why you have to take the shots? I mean, I get the whatever.
Balls in your hand, take a shot.
You are the card-carrying captain of Team Gets Mine. So
100%.
when you're open, you're going to take a shot.
100%. I don't have to be open. The ball has to hit my hands. My two favorite words in English language are my first name and my last name.
I get it. It's not good.
Stop doing that. It's bouncing off my camera. unpleasant at best.
It's me and Alex Caruso and Cody Zeller.
And Dennis Schroeder before he went to the Lakers.
Cody Zeller's moving on. He's going to Portland.
He didn't mean to. That's another team that just, hey, we need one unathletic white guy at all times.
What's the one thing that has come up about the Portland Trailblazers that they need to do this offseason? They have to give Dame some help or Dame's gone. Cody Zeller.
Woohoo! You know, Dame Lillard saw that and went, all right, I feel good now.
Right. Zach Collins is gone. At least there's that.
Hey, at least Cody Zeller plays every once in a while. Zach Collins does not.
Zach Collins ended up getting a 3-year, $22 million deal. And it's, I mean, San Antonio Spurs. That's another one. That's why.
Because you can't get anybody signed there. The zeal is off the rose on Greg Popovich. Mm-hmm. Because now we've seen it be bad, and now he looks like the Big Lebowski. And who's signing up for that? Well, yeah, I want to play with Deontay Murray and was it Keldon Johnson? Mm-hmm. No. Where you at, Buffalo Bill?
No.
Doug McDermott and Zach Collins. It's a hell of a start to free agency for the San Antonio
Jonathan
Spurs.
Welch said Tank taking his hat off is the absolute last need that we needed.
What? I mean, it's not good. It's not good, folks.
Your head looks more phallic by the day. Why is that?
Well, I mean,
if you wore a turtleneck, I swear to Jehovah,
see,
it would
gets
be
worse when you do it this way.
100%.
And it just complete egg shape.
All right, I just made an executive decision. You're never allowed to wear a turtleneck on this set ever, because they would literally blur your face out.
You got penis jokes.
100%.
I see how it is.
I'm well caffeinated this morning.
I thought we were friends.
We were until you kept taking that hat off. And see, now I'm just seeing it back on the playback.
It's not the prettiest thing. You should see it when it's wet. I knew that'd get him. Yeah, Zach Collins. What was it that we looked up this morning? Zach Collins has been in the league for 4 years, and
he's played like 100 games.
150.
He's played 11 in 2 years.
I think it was 152 or something like that was the total.
No, it's not even that, man. It was like 125 or something like that.
Okay.
It's something pathetic. He's talented, but he can't stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. And this is the guy that's, I don't know. It's just, the money's too big for some guys in the NBA, in my opinion. Even $22 million over 3 years, it doesn't sound like a whole lot compared, when you're talking about 5 years for $100 million for Jarrett Allen. But for a guy who can't even hit the floor, it's one of those things that the ceiling is the roof.
Mm-hmm. The ceiling is not very high.
Right. There were 3 best deals in the early stages of free agency here. One was Devonte Graham.
Which I thought I was going to hate that, and then I saw every other deal and went,
yeah,
that was a value.
4 years, $47 million. Devonte Graham going to the New Orleans Pelicans. And I would much rather have him on my team than pretty much anybody else. And you look at some of the other deals that were, and let's see here. I'm just looking at a free agency ranking. He was, according to this website, the number 12. What?
Keep talking. You didn't notice it? That's fine.
The number 12 free agent available in this class, just ahead of Tim Hardaway. And Tim Hardaway got almost double the money he did. I would much rather spend my money on Devonte Graham. Oh, stop.
You didn't notice it.
I didn't even notice it. I wasn't even looking up on that. Thanks. Appreciate the...
Michael Whiteside said you looked like a pissed off baby with no hat. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Devonte Graham.
He's another guard. Goes to... I like him better in New Orleans than I liked him in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. Charlotte had a glut of guards, especially with Bach Knight and Oh, there's another one I'm forgetting. Terry Rozier. So I like that deal. I don't think you got tremendous value, but you got tremendous value for this market.
And Devonte Graham can come in and run the show for New Orleans.
Yeah, I love that idea. Brandon Ingram should be the one running the point.
Well, I mean, that gives them the ability to do that. Devonte Graham can play off the ball. So, I guess. I mean, because they brought up Zion brought up the ball a lot for them as well.
And he apparently liked doing that. I don't know how much I liked him doing that, but, when in Rome.
Well, how much does that, how much does that screw up the game plan?
I'm not a big fan of Zion being away from the basket, unless it's in a high pick and roll scenario.
Right.
And I look at the rest of this team going, you don't have that. You don't have the screen setter in a high pick and roll anymore. I mean, maybe it's Jonas Valanciunas, but by God, he stays in foul trouble just as much as anybody you will ever talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he is the Rashawn Holmes of the South. They live in foul trouble.
So Devonte Graham goes to New Orleans, and again, that is a trade deal that is going to bring back a lottery-protected first-round draft pick next year for the Charlotte Hornets.
Which means it'll probably be 2 second-round picks because the Pelicans are never going to not be in the lottery. I don't like the build on that team, and I never have.
You don't think they can make
I don't
the
like
playoffs?
Brandon Ingram, if I'm being really honest. He's grossly overrated.
Okay.
Can't defend anybody. He's a high-volume scorer. I mean, he's fine, but he's not a max guy. And I don't think he's the running mate to Zion Williamson.
Right.
This is just another one. This is Anthony Davis 2.0. You're going up, and they're just throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks. David Griffin was brought in because he, had lunch with LeBron James one time. It's weird how easy it is to build a team around LeBron. There's not many of those. In NBA history, there's been 2. And Zion is not one of them because his game's difficult to build a team around. But Devonte Graham being a bit of a shooter as the point guard, that it can't hurt. I don't know how much it helps, but it can't hurt.
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball was a killer because he is a god-awful shooter. Oh, but he had that run. I don't care. I don't give a shit. He was still a 37% three-point shooter. Yeah, that's better than 30, but 30 shouldn't be in the NBA as a guard. So, there you go.
One of the other best deals of free agency so far, I felt like Gary Trent. Gary Trent getting 3 years, $54 million.
I'm fine with it.
I like him a lot.
I do too.
I've liked him since he was a dude. So, and that's saying something.
Yeah, I mean, and in Toronto, you couldn't lose that player. That's what you got back for Norman Powell. You saved by year, you didn't save a boatload of money, but you saved a boatload of money.
Right. That's another one we hadn't talked about. Norman Powell got re-signed by the Portland Trail Blazers.
Almost $20 million a year on Norman Powell just seems like a shitload to me.
5 years, $90 million to stay in Portland. To me, I'm just counting the days. I'm just counting the days till something happens with Dame Lillard. Do you think he's going to get moved?
No.
Too late in the game for that?
Rob Johnson said all this NBA talk's making me sleepy. I'm right there with you.
It's making me sleepy as well.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is the last day we have to talk about the NBA. When I said we didn't...
The only thing
I talk about, I forgot about the first day of free agency.
I did as well. And the only thing that we're going to have to talk about is whenever Kawhi makes his decision on where he's going to go.
It's going back to the Clippers. There is no decision.
Nobody else will be in on him? Nobody else will be able to pay him, I guess is what you're saying?
Not to the same level. Bird rights, all those things. Yeah, he'll wind up back in LA.
The other best deal was your
2022 NBA champion, Denver Nuggets.
Will Barton signing for 2 years, $32 million.
I'm always a fan of when you can bring back a player that talented for below market. Because I would say he's an equivalent player to Tim Hardaway Jr., and you paid him way less.
Agreed. You and I are both in agreement on that one. Anyway, that's it in a nutshell.
Hey, NBA, opa!
Thank God.
On to football.
On to the NFL.
Oh, wait. Was she a great big fat person?
I don't even know why that fit right there, but it did.
It did. I did see some disturbing news from Carolina camp this morning. They had a player who had to be taken away in an ambulance. It was Keith Kirkwood, he's got 13 catches on his entire career, 2 touchdowns. It's sad to see anybody get hurt. You don't ever want to see it, especially where they have to be taken away in an ambulance. But for Panther fans, Kevin Vick, just so you know, Keith Kirkwood was out at training camp this morning, or had to be ambulanced away from training camp this morning. The big story still in the NFL is Carson Wentz. And what is going to happen? How long is this going to take? I have scoured to try to find different opinions on what this could be. It's all going to come down to what they find when they get inside the foot. If they get in there and they find that this 5th metatarsal or whatever the hell it is that they've had to remove, yeah, isn't that right? Metatarsals are in your hands, metatarsals are in your feet.
Don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, whenever they take out the bone that's apparently just floating around in there, if they got to reattach some ligaments and things, it's going to be at least 12 weeks. At least 12 weeks in the recovery time. They put out the window yesterday 5 to 12 with this injury. I really don't see him being able to come back in a month. But that's just me.
They'll know in a couple weeks. The Nick Foles thing is bullshit. Stop listening to that. They're not bringing in Nick Foles because it doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. Be really honest with yourself. Do you see them markedly differently with Nick Foles than you do with Jacob Eason? Because I don't.
No.
Jake Eason easily has the better arm. Obviously, Foles has been in the league longer, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. He only works in Philadelphia. He's like reverse Superman. Mm-hmm. And his kryptonite is in Philadelphia, and that's the only place it works. So, this is the negative of going all in on a guy like Carson Wentz. He is now officially injury prone. And by the way, I would love to. How in the hell you just run around and all of a sudden a bone breaks loose in your foot? That is a very bad sign that you are made of porcelain.
Mm-hmm. Chris Mortensen, I saw a tweet from him that said that the Colts are not going to be trading. At least not for Foles or Gardner Minshew or for Marcus Mariota. That they are still optimistic that Carson Wentz can make it to week 1. I don't see how that's possible.
Adam Black asked a question in the comments that's when is the best time to, I'm assuming he's talking about fantasy drafts. When's the best time to do a draft? He said after all the preseason games. That's too late.
Yeah, that's too late.
I would say the best time is probably week 2 of the preseason. Yep. In between week 2 and week 3. Mm-hmm. Because week 3 is where you'll start seeing things because that's the full dress rehearsal. I don't know if that's going to stay the same now that there's only 3 preseason games.
Yeah.
Now that game could be 2. And that would move it up for me. But we'll be doing fantasy drafts right up until the start of the league year.
We always do. We all end up in last-minute leagues and things like that, but especially here with the competition for a cause.
Yes. We're not quite to the announcement.
We're not quite to the stage of that, but we're gonna try to do this the best ball tournaments and stuff.
We're wanting to. That's been one of the things that's pushed back the Manscaped draft. That and I'm trying to get their legal team to tell me how this is supposed to look.
Right.
Because they have graphics and things that are really hard to deal with.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, to me it's week 2. You get the early injuries of camp out of the way. You get you just get to see who's made of glass, basically.
Yeah, and it's the thing about Wentz, and Rob Johnson asked, with him out, what does it do to Jonathan Taylor's ADP? I'll be honest with you, we won't know until we know how long he's going to be out. Because it's possible he's back for week 1. I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. I would say he's probably out the first 6 weeks of the season. That's how I'm mentally preparing. And with Jonathan Taylor, it doesn't affect much to me. Jacob Eason's still got a big arm. So he's a guy that even if you're going to see some young mistakes. He's not a rookie, so I don't want to call him rookie mistakes, but a guy that's never taken a snap in the league, you'll see some mistakes with him. However, you can't just completely ignore the fact that he can beat you with his arm.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's that big of a deal to somebody like Jonathan Taylor. What it makes me not like is that team. I now don't like that team. I don't know if you've ever hurt your foot. I have. And I will tell you, it never goes away. We talk about groin and hamstring injuries that they just nag all year long. Foot will nag for 3 damn years. You know, like Adam Black said, this was a high school injury. Feet are weird, man. When something, and because he'll tell you, I have days, I broke my foot 10 years ago. I still have days where it's like, I feel like it is, I feel like it's broken all over.
Well, was it corrected with surgery?
No.
See, that's.
I didn't actually know I'd broken it for 2 years.
Right. All of the things that I have read said that after the surgery and after the proper healing time has elapsed, he shouldn't really have a problem with it. So I'm trusting in the medical professionals that I have seen say that. But it's the timeline that the team gave that almost all of the medical professionals that I have seen takes from have said this is not possible. 5 weeks is out of the question.
I would say that's out of the question. I would say he missed the first 6 weeks of the season.
Mm-hmm.
And I did love the meteorological time frame they gave.
Oh, 5 to 12
5
weeks.
to 12 weeks is the closest example I've ever seen of that is a meteorologist saying, well, it could be sunny and 70 or it could snow.
Right.
One or the other. It's going to do one of those two things.
Well, and we're used to that here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. We always see the predictions on the snowstorms coming through. Oh, we could get 24 inches of snow. Yeah, it was 2. That was it. I thought there's some things that I thought were really weird about this. One was the timeline, 5 to 12 weeks, and 2 was the Colts just being. Yeah, we'll go forward with Jacob Eason. That'll be fine. We don't need to go and add anybody else. I don't know. To me, it's kind of like the LA Rams with Cam Akers. You gonna be really okay going with Darrell Henderson for the rest of the season?
100%.
I just think it's a fool's errand, I guess is the phrase that I'm looking for.
What it definitively told me is I like the Titans are going to win this division in a walk.
Mm-hmm.
It won't even be close. This is now probably the worst division in football.
I did like yesterday. Nick Foles at his press conference. They asked him about it, and he said that he's in much better shape today than he was when he won the Super Bowl. It's like,
I love
he's really praying to get out of Chicago because he knows this is the only shot that he's going to get to start some games this year.
Nick Foles is the dude at the bar whose wife is getting ready to leave him, and he's just buying 22-year-old girls drinks in the hope that they'll look at him kindly. Like, hey, are you drinking? Party. All right.
Nice. It does hurt the Indianapolis Colts outlook for the 2021 season. We are going to be doing power rankings tomorrow, and you will see that reflected in the power rankings. The Indianapolis Colts just went from, oh God, where would they have been? Top 12 in the NFL?
Close.
I think they'd be somewhere in that neighborhood. You're probably going to see them down in the 20s at this point.
They're going to drop drastically.
It's just,
I kept wanting to say drap.
Yeah. It's just another in the long line of bad news for the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, it's not
First
good.
It was Peyton Manning, then it was Andrew Luck, now it's Carson Wentz.
Yeah, they need a new medical staff. It's just like switch out the MRI machine or something.
That was the other thing. They're keeping it in-house. Like, he didn't go to Dr. James Andrews, which is normally the guy that everybody goes to. They're keeping it in-house with their surgeon, which I'm not saying he's a bad surgeon or anything. I just thought that's very strange that you wouldn't go to the guy who deals with all of this stuff, who might be able to deliver you the 5-week window. But that also might be part of the calculation. If he has a little extended recovery time, then we don't have to give up that first-round pick next year.
I feel like Andrew Luck is on line 1 for Carson Wentz going, don't let their surgeon touch you!
I'm surprised that hasn't started back up. Let's just call Andrew Luck and see if he wants to come back for this year.
Have you seen the picture of Andrew Luck?
No.
Hold on. You just keep talking.
What did he get fat?
No. I'll throw it up here.
Okay. I haven't heard I haven't heard anything about Andrew Luck. He's the one guy that retired from the NFL and just disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that's what he wanted, but I thought for sure we'd hear something about him.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He had that gross neck beard thing happening.
Yeah.
You know, when he wasn't in the league.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get it up there in a minute. It's a rare picture. Very few people actually see Andrew Luck at this point.
So he's like just Ted Kaczynski hiding out in the woods or something?
Not quite to that level. Not quite to that level.
I take it it's gotten much worse since then.
Dude. Let's see. And live shot of Andrew Luck.
God.
Yeah, that's what
I fully expected you were being serious about that.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty good at that.
Yep. Where his best friend is a volleyball now.
Nope, football. Still a football, but it's also got a blood hand face on it.
Oh, dear. Anyhow, we got training camps going on in the NFL. Have you seen any other horror stories from camp?
I mean, this is the time of year where everybody is the best and the greatest.
I mean, except for Tim Tebow, of course.
Oh, God. I'd never want to hear his name again. I swear to you.
You're going to keep hearing it because there is literally 3 articles a day.
I swear to Jehovah, I'm going to put him in the same category as Biggie Smalls. Mm-hmm. If you go into a dark room, stare in a mirror, and say his name 3 times, he will appear.
Yeah.
Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls, Biggie Smalls.
What do you make of the news coming out of Buffalo that the Buffalo Bills won $150 million or it was a one.
You're going full Joe Biden.
I'm sorry.
Did they want $150 or $150 billion? It was 150 something.
It was 150 Cheetos. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, you're talking about the
they
move.
wanted the stadium. They wanted a fully funded publicly funded stadium, or they're moving to Austin.
All right, I want to know why you just said that way. You said that like fully funded municipal stadium is.
That was the report that I heard yesterday.
I got that, but you said that like that's a problem.
It kind of is.
You realize how fucking... Please say what you're about to say, because I'm going to call you stupid. Because I hear this constantly. Panthers fans did the same shit.
Yep.
David Tepper's got $40 million. Yep. Blah, blah. Okay, that's fine. Here's the problem with when the owner funds it. He fucking owns it. It's beneficial for the city if you build the damn thing. Because all the revenue goes to you instead of the team. I cannot believe we're still having to fucking do this. After Jerry Jones just showed how stupid that is. He built a stadium by himself. Mm-hmm. We call it Jerry World for a reason. Mm-hmm. Do you know how much it's worth? Oh, why would he ask the people of Buffalo? Because it's good for your economy. It creates jobs. It does all kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all of that. The greedy billionaire asking for us to fund the stadium. It's better for you. Do it that way. Absolutely 100% do it that way. MetLife Stadium. Our stadium. Oh, Woody Johnson and the Mara family. Yeah, it hosts like Final Fours and shit now. Mm-hmm. You want that? So I absolutely detest when people do that. Mm-hmm. The owner's got all this money. Yeah, and it's not fucking liquid. He doesn't have a room in his house like Scrooge McDuck that he just jumps into a room full of coins. David Tepper does not have $5 billion liquid dollars to just go, here. That's not how that works. I mean, let me make something perfectly clear. Buffalo Bills, if you want your team, you damn sure better build them a stadium. Because I've been to Ralph Wilson, and it's a fucking hole. It's 30 years behind the NFL. People bitch about Bank of America, that, they need a new stadium. It looks like the Taj Mahal compared to Ralph Wilson. I dated a Bills season ticket holder. Trust me. Been there, seen me do it. And it's just, good God, it's cold. Right off the lake, good.
$1.1 billion, that was the figure that I was trying to find when I had my Joe Biden moment.
Yeah. $1.1.
$1.1
will buy you a paper drawing of a
billion dollars for a new stadium up there.
And you better pony it up.
Look, I don't disagree that some public funding should be, the community should invest in the stadium, but I don't feel like you should go to them and ask them to build you a new one completely. To me, you got to share ownership of the stadium.
Not quite how that works. I mean, it can, and it's happened that way before because some people, you want to know why that's not a thing? I'm blanking on what is the Bills owner's name? It's like Dracula or some shit. I can't think of his name. Terry Pagula. I had Dragula stuck in my, I had that Rob Zombie song stuck in my head.
ULA, yeah.
I mean, do you know how much he's worth?
No clue.
I had this pulled up and now I can't find it. Do. Keep talking. He's worth about $5 billion.
Right. I understand how much value there is to having a stadium and having a state-of-the-art stadium in your area. When we went through all of this, and I was working in news talk radio of, the Carolina Panthers want help funding and they want tax increases and all that kind of stuff. I get it. You should, as a community, invest. But to me, it's taking on the whole thing.
Let me ask you a very simple question. Will Austin, Texas build them a stadium?
I don't know.
100%. There's no.
You think they will?
100%. There's no doubt.
I disagree.
Oh, you're fucking wrong. The state of Texas will 100. Do you know what that did to Fort Worth? Texas there's a reason that's the city they use. Because the whole state of Texas is looking around going, if you build it, they will come. That's weird. And Austin is very supportive of things that happen in that town, and they don't have a pro sports team. If an NFL franchise wound up in Austin, Texas, it would be the biggest thing in town every day, all day, 365 days out of the year. They would 100% build them a stadium. And they've got Texas Longhorn money in that town. Just understand that. There's a reason Texas is the most lucrative program. And a lot of people would do the comparison of, well, what about Jacksonville? There's Florida Gator money there. Think about what you just said. Texas Longhorn, Florida Gator. There's a lot more money for one than the other. That would 100% work. But as a billionaire, so what's all right, so you contribute your own money to it.
Yep.
Why? What's in it for me?
The revenue that you're going to make off of that building.
I'm going to make the revenue anyway. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make the revenue anyway. Because you get into shared money and all kinds of shit with stadiums. So you're going to ask me to pony up, I don't know, $500 million?
At least.
Fuck you. I'll tell you as never been a billionaire. I can tell you how to think like one, though, because I've done pretty well at times in my life. Fuck you. That building stays in your city forever, no matter what happens to me. I could die tomorrow. That building is still here for you forever. Yeah, you pay for it. You get to use it. It builds things in. I'm not ponying up my own money. I'm not doing it. Now, could I make a contribution, $100 million? Sure. You want me to pay for half of it? Piss down the road. Piss down. First of all, I'm in Buffalo, New York. Be really honest with yourself. How much is that team worth? How much more is that team worth with a new stadium?
Oh, I don't know.
How much do you think it's worth now? Sorry, I got to do a lot of scrolling to get to Buffalo.
I don't know. $1.8 billion.
Man, you are bad at these games. Actually, you're not as bad as I thought you were. $2 billion. The franchise itself is worth $2 billion. You want me to pony up a quarter of what this team's worth after I've already bought the damn team to build a stadium in your city? Why?
Because you need it. You need a facility.
No. Terry Pagula does not need this. He can go to Austin, Texas. He can go to, I mean, good hell, I can name you probably 200 cities that would be all the way in on an NFL team. I'll be 100% honest with you, it's never made a whole lot of sense that Buffalo stayed in Buffalo anyway. Because that town loves that team, but they don't support it and shit like this. Because I'll tell you, this stadium thing, won't pass.
No.
It will not pass, and it's going to become a problem. There's a reason. What do I always say when stories like this come out? Who wanted you to know this? It was Terry Pagula. Because he was basically saying, you can hate me all you want to. It does not make any fiscal sense for me to pay for this stadium in your town. None. Brand new stadium that Pagula owns. Guess what? Bills are still worth. Detroit Lions built a new stadium.
Yep.
Good example. Because those two teams are pretty simpatico. Built a new stadium, right? It's worth $2.1 billion. Just a hair over Buffalo. You're setting money on fire. He's not going to do that. It's one thing if you were in Nashville, Tennessee, or you were, I'm just trying to think of Atlanta, or one of these high-end cities that has a ton of money in it. Having a municipal stadium that you own part of the revenue for, that would have a benefit. I don't think many people are going to see Garth Brooks in Buffalo. I'm just saying, it's cold as fuck 6 months out of the year. You can't do outdoor concerts, so you're either going to have to build a dome, which takes away the Buffalo mantra.
Right.
Why would you do that? It doesn't make any logistical sense. See, this is what fans do because well, I don't want my taxes to go up. Well, okay, your land value is going to go up because you have a big-ass stadium that people might just do concerts at. I did not look this up before we talked about this, but I'm curious of something. I want to see if there is a concert in Ralph Wilson this year.
I don't know. I don't know if they use it for that. A lot of these stadiums, they don't do giant concerts like that.
You're wrong. In any warm weather city, name me one that doesn't. I just saw one at Nissan Stadium, like literally within a month. Bank of America does them a lot. Luke Combs is playing at Bank of America not that long from now.
Yeah, but
Atlanta is constant.
But what I'm saying is it's not used for that routinely. Like, it's not like a full schedule. Like, it's a specialty thing.
Name me one.
Now, Bank of America Stadium. Before David Tepper took over and started doing the upgrades and started getting all and he did get some help from the community in renovating the stadium.
But before you go too far with this, I should probably tell you, Bank of America has 2 concerts in a 5-day stretch. One of them's Garth Brooks, one of them's the Rolling Stones.
Yes.
Buffalo has one in a calendar year, and it's Billy Joel rescheduled from a year ago.
Right. What I'm saying is, before David Tepper took over, Bank of America did not host many concerts.
They still hosted more in Buffalo.
I'm sure they did. But what I'm saying
there's
is,
a reason for that. You have 6 months out of the year you can do this in Buffalo. It makes no sense for Terry Pagula to pay for this. None. Because they're not going to let you build a dome.
It makes more sense for him to uproot the team and destroy the history of the team by doing that.
Did it destroy the history of the Cleveland Browns? Baltimore hemorrhaging money? Nope. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a flying rat's fuck about that.
They don't
City
care
of Buffalo
so much
does.
that they created another team.
City of Buffalo does. Yeah, guess what? There's one of 2 scenarios that would happen if they moved the Buffalo Bills. Either the Bills fans would go with them, which is not likely, or they would go to a new city and they would attract new fans, and they would probably have a bigger fan base that way. In terms of population of cities, I think it's the smallest city in the NFL that has other than Green Bay, Wisconsin, that has a team in it. And Green Bay is on the other side of Milwaukee, so you've at least got a big market close to you.
Right.
Buffalo is Siberia compared to New York City.
Right.
And I love the Bills. I'm not trying to slight the Bills here at all. I'm trying to slight this stupid narrative that, why should the fans pay for it? Because it benefits the fans. Because it benefits the fans. It doesn't benefit Terry Pagula at all. This team does not become worth markedly more with a new stadium. They don't, because of where it is. And that's what he's trying to say. And he even said, I'll pony up some of the money. He came out and said, I will give some of it. I'm not paying for this whole damn thing by myself. It doesn't make sense. And you'll probably never see another owner do that ever again.
Well, see, that I understand. The report that I had seen and heard was that they just wanted them to flat out community build them a $1.1 billion stadium. And it's like, fuck down the road, man. You've got all of this money and you're expecting us to build you a stadium? No, not going to do it.
Then you can watch your team go away.
Well, I mean, and that's
it's 6 one way, half dozen the other.
That's the carrot that they all hold. I mean, you know, I don't know. To me,
I want you to think about what you're saying here.
It's just baffling to me.
Why? Follow the money. Think about every small market team in any fucking sport. Mm-hmm. Name them all. Oakland, football team, bye. Didn't support it? Fuck off. Away we go. We go to Vegas. Guess what? Raiders are worth a boatload of money. Mm-hmm. You went from the smallest market, one of the smallest markets in the NFL, and one of the poorest markets in the NFL, to Las Vegas. You don't think Buffalo would just watch that? The Oakland A's are getting ready to move.
Right.
Tampa Bay Rays have constant problems of people being in their stadium. Mm-hmm. Just go through the motions here. It ain't hard to figure out. Buffalo, we packed the stadium. Yeah, and it's got about 20,000 less seats than we'd like it to. St. Louis Rams, that's another. Rob Johnson said that in the comments. That's another good one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they didn't support it. Bye. You want to keep putting us in the Edward Jones Dome? See ya. We're going to go to L.A. and SoFi. Guess what? Now we're hosting a damn Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Some of that gravy spills over on our taters. 100% it makes sense. 100% it makes sense. I'll be honest with you. I won't be shocked if by the time I'm dead, you don't see any of these Buffalo Bill, Oakland A, I'm trying to think small market, Oklahoma City Thunder. They'll all be gone.
Panthers.
Charlotte's still the 17th biggest media market in the country. There's still a lot of banking money in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, they're on the list. They always are. That's why they keep getting that's why they keep getting the backing from the city, because the city realizes, holy shit, they don't have to be here.
By the way, they're not on a smart list. Of people talking about teams that could move, if you see them on that list, stop reading it because it's stupid. I'll tell you the list. I'm looking at the Forbes evaluation right now.
Okay.
Teams that could move: Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yep.
Arizona Cardinals. Buffalo Bills. Cincinnati Bengals. That's about it. The Panthers are worth $500 million more than the Bills, and sold for more than that. That team ain't going nowhere.
It was $2.2 billion they sold for.
They sold for more than that.
I don't think so. I think their value has gone up since David Tepper made that deal, but I believe
2.3. Right.
Yeah, it was in that neighborhood. But that was part of the calculation as well. Everybody's been afraid. Is David Tepper going to pick up and go somewhere? He's been looking for new property to build it. Thank God. I mean, that was part of the deal. David Tepper came in and said, I don't want to go anywhere else. I want to be here. I will find another place to build a stadium if that is what we need to do. We got that, built that big complex, or in the process of building that big complex down in Rock Hill that's going to be the headquarters and the training facilities and all of that. There's long been talk about them putting up a stadium down toward Carowinds.
Adam Black asked in the comments, what's the better investment? Look how much the Dallas, or how much Jerry Jones is worth now. There's a difference. You're talking about Dallas to Buffalo. Ralph Wilson's current schedule, one concert, Billy Joel. It's in 2 weeks, and it's rescheduled from last year. Other than that, would you like to know what happens in Ralph Wilson Stadium? The National Buffalo Wing Festival. Woo! And Buffalo Bills games. That's it.
Right.
The next concert in that building is Motley Crue and Def Leppard with Poison. That's been rescheduled twice. And it's a full year from now. It's literally 7 days in 1 year from right now. Would you like to hear what the schedule, and before anybody says Rona, let's go this path. Cowboy Stadium. Tickets.
Oh, God, it does everything.
That's why this makes sense. It doesn't make sense in Buffalo. You can't do things to this level. It's cold as shit. It snows a foot. I mean, think about how many times you've watched Buffalo Bills bring in fans with free tickets so they'll come plow the damn field. You know where that doesn't happen? Dallas. And it's in a dome.
Right.
But Buffalo won't agree to a dome.
No, because you would take away
the essence of Buffalo.
Exactly. Now you could put a retractable dome on it, and that would be the solution.
You know how much that is? It's about $1 billion. That just in and of itself is about
just the roof is $1 billion.
It's about $1 billion. There's a reason you don't see many teams do it.
Mm-hmm.
Even a Houston Texans kind of like it's up around and you can pull just this part back. I think that was $400 million. Just for that one piece.
But that would also lend to, well, we could get year-round use out of this.
No, it wouldn't. I've been to Buffalo. When it snows like that, you're not getting in there. First of all, there's nowhere to stay. So you run into hotel problems anyway. But we can deal with that. We get around that.
Mm-hmm.
You get into these damn snowstorms where it shuts the whole fucking city down. I mean, this is, yes, and I know any New Yorker's getting ready to say, we know how to drive in snow. I understand that. If you're going to do concerts like that, you're not just getting Buffalo, New York residents.
Holy hell. Kevin Vick said in the comments that Carolina just cut the DB that hit Keith Kirkwood.
Yeah, I actually said that was going to happen about 45 minutes ago. They kicked him out of practice, so it's not shocking. Yeah, they're not going to put up with that bullshit.
That's crazy.
And good for Carolina. I mean, that is setting a tone of you're going to do things our way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Adam Black said, look at Minnesota. That's not a bad analogy, except for how much bigger Minneapolis is than Buffalo. Minneapolis is a hell of a place.
I don't know. I feel like upstate New York would be a place that would they would support a giant stadium like that if you had events. If you were able to have event after event after event and you wanted to turn it into that. But I mean, that's just me.
Let's play a fun game.
How long have they been? How long has the talk been going of Buffalo moving across to Toronto? Bigger city, bigger market, things like that. I don't know. It's so unseemly to us as the people when we hear a billionaire say, oh, yeah, you need to build me a $1.1 billion stadium.
And he's right.
No.
Yeah, let me tell you a fun story about Toronto.
Yeah.
Do you know what the average household income in Toronto is? The median income?
No clue.
$66,000 a year. You know what it is in Buffalo? $37,000. That's a big fuck difference. That's almost double.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason the Toronto thing's been a thing forever. Do they want to lose the history and all that shit? No. But you know what matters more? Money. Money is what matters. And I've been in arguments with people about this since the Pagula story came out. If you screw with him, he will leave. And guess what? He'll take your damn hockey team with him. Because he owns the Sabres too.
Mm-hmm.
He'll take them both. Because neither one of them make a whole lot of sense. And I'm one of the biggest Bills drum beaters in the world. That's who I have winning the damn Super Bowl. Don't screw with the man. Build the stadium. Move on.
It looks like it's gonna be some kind of a public fight up there in Buffalo regarding that. This is one of those things I can't imagine the NFL without the Buffalo Bills. It's just always been that, I guess one of the feel-good stories of the NFL.
Adam Black said Toronto folks would come to Buffalo for big events. You're right. The problem is that I think booking, and look, I didn't do a lot in booking, but I did it just enough. I would say big acts still would prefer to go to Toronto. They would prefer to get the overflow from Buffalo to Toronto than from Toronto to Buffalo.
Yeah.
I could be wrong on that. If anybody does booking, feel free to correct me. But
I mean, is there a lot of crossover? See, I've never lived near an international border, so I don't know what. I mean, is that something that you just don't even think about? We're going down to Buffalo for a couple of hours, and then we'll come back.
Oh, 100%. We'll ask Chief Zach.
I mean, obviously not now.
The next time Chief Zach is in with us, we'll ask him about this.
Right.
Adam Black said something in the comments that I want to. He said about how it would be a great investment for the owner.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with you. If it's going to cost me the same amount, especially with building materials cost right now, by the way, that's another reason this came up. If it's going to cost me the same amount to build a stadium in Buffalo and Austin, I'd rather do it in Austin. I will make a mint in Austin, Texas. the music scene, all of the things down there, I'll make a mint down there. This is a leverage ploy. There's no doubt about it. This is him looking at Buffalo going, I don't want to move the team. It would make me a hell of a lot more money to move the team.
That's what it always is. It's always, the leverage of, I don't need you. I'm in the NFL. I can go anywhere I want. Now give me what I want.
And I promise you,
some cities will bend over backwards for you. The other cities will just fuck you.
Buffalo cave. You mark my words.
I'm sure they will, because that is part of the lifeblood of that city. Without its pro sports teams, what does Buffalo have other than its chicken wings?
Oh, they do have chicken wings.
And I feel like you can go down the street and get some of those.
I like chicken wings.
I can go down here to Strictly Wings and feel like I'm getting the Buffalo experience.
100%. They're very good.
So, anyhow, we'll keep you up to date on the fight that's going to go on there with Terry Pegula and the city of Buffalo. Anyhow, we'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 right here in the Sportsocracy. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we will have our latest NFL preseason power rankings that has been affected by the Carson Wentz injury. There ain't no doubt about that.
I've got another big mover that we haven't talked about. You'll see.
Check us out on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400 this afternoon, 3 to 5. The Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And again, back here in the Wicked Weed studio tomorrow at 10 a.m. with the NFL Power Rankings. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.